So, tonight I want to share something that still keeps me up at night sometimes. It's about betrayal. But not the kind you see coming. Not a romantic partner who cheats, or a colleague you knew was competitive. This is about the person I trusted most in the world. The person who knew all my dreams, my fears, my insecurities. The person I called when everything went wrong. My best friend. For 8 years, I thought she was the only one in my corner. The one person who genuinely wanted me to succeed. But she wasn't cheering for me. She was the reason I kept failing. And I had no idea. If this kind of story speaks to you, feel free to like, subscribe, and drop a comment with your thoughts or your own experience. Now, grab your headphones or dim the lights because this is going to be a long one, and it's going to hurt. Let's begin. I met Sarah in my sophomore year of college. Actually, let me back up. I need you to understand who I was back then, to understand how this happened, how I let it happen. I was 19, away from home for the first time, trying to figure out who I was. I'd been a good student in high school, but never the popular kid, never the girl everyone wanted to be friends with. I had friends, sure, but I'd never experienced that deep, all-consuming friendship that people wrote songs about. I wanted that. I wanted a best friend. Sarah walked into my marketing class on the first day of spring semester, and I noticed her immediately. Not because she was loud or attention-seeking, actually. The opposite. She had this calm confidence about her. She sat down, took out her notebook, smiled at the people around her. Easy, natural. I envied that about her from the beginning. The way she moved through the world, without seeming to question whether she belonged there. We got paired up for a group project. Random assignment. Fate, I thought at the time. The project was to create a mock brand campaign for a local business. We met at the library to discuss it, and within 10 minutes, I knew this was someone special. She got my references. She laughed at my jokes. She had ideas that built on mine instead of competing with them. "We're going to be great together," she said that first day. She was right, just not in the way I thought. We aced the project, got the highest grade in the class. The professor used our campaign as an example for future semesters. I was proud, but Sarah was the one who glowed when the professor praised us. She loved recognition. I noticed that early on, but I didn't think much of it. Who doesn't like being praised? After that, we started spending more time together. Coffee between classes. Study sessions that turned into late-night conversations. We talked about everything, our childhoods, our dreams, what we wanted from life. Sarah wanted to be somebody, not just successful, but known, respected. She wanted people to see her name on things and know it meant quality, excellence. She was ambitious in a way I admired because I wasn't sure I had that kind of drive. I told her I wanted to do good work, to create campaigns that mattered, to maybe start an agency someday, but a small one, something meaningful. "You're thinking too small," she said. "You could do so much more than that." At the time, I thought she was being encouraging. Now, I wonder if she already saw me as competition that needed to be managed. By junior year, we were inseparable. We'd moved into an apartment together, a tiny 2-bedroom off-campus with perpetually broken heating and a landlord who never fixed anything. We didn't care. We were living the dream. 2 best friends taking on the world together. We took the same classes. We studied together. We applied to the same internships. When we both got offers, me at a small boutique agency, her at a larger corporate firm, we celebrated like we'd won the lottery. "This is just the beginning," Sarah said. Champagne in hand, cheap champagne, the kind college students drink. "We're going to take over this industry." I believed her. Why wouldn't I? We were a team. Senior year, something shifted. Subtly at first. We were both applying for jobs. Both sending out resumes, going to interviews, networking at every event we could find. The market was competitive. Everyone said so. You needed to stand out. I started noticing that Sarah always seemed to know about opportunities before I did. Better opportunities. She'd mention interviews I'd never heard about, companies I didn't know were hiring. How did you find out about that? I'd ask. Oh, just through networking, she'd say vaguely. You know, talking to people. I assumed she was just better at networking than me. More confident. More willing to put herself out there. I was still learning to advocate for myself. Still uncomfortable with self-promotion. Sarah was a natural at it. I got a job offer 3 months before graduation. A decent role at a mid-size agency in the city. Nothing glamorous, but a solid start. Entry-level associate position. Reasonable salary. Room to grow. I was thrilled. Sarah congratulated me. Genuinely seemed happy. We went out to celebrate, but I remember noticing something in her face when I first told her. Just a flicker. There and gone. I couldn't quite identify it then. Now I know what it was. It was the first time I'd gotten something before her, and she didn't like it. She got her offer 2 weeks later. A better position, better company, better salary. She made sure to mention all of this when she told me. You're going to do great at your place, she said. It's perfect for someone starting out. The implication was clear. Her place was for people who were already ahead, but I didn't see it as an insult. I saw it as fact. Sarah was better than me, more polished, more professional. Of course she'd get a better offer. I was just grateful to be going to the same city. Still together. Still best friends. Graduation came and went. We packed up our tiny apartment, said goodbye to college, and moved to the city. We found another apartment together, bigger this time, nicer. Split the rent evenly, even though Sarah could have afforded more. We were starting our careers, our adult lives, side by side. I thought I was lucky to have her. I had no idea what I was walking into. Our first jobs were everything college had promised, and nothing like we expected. I loved my work. The agency was small, scrappy, full of creative people who genuinely cared about the campaigns we were building. My boss was demanding but fair. She pushed me to think bigger, to defend my ideas, to develop a voice, but it was hard. The learning curve was steep. I made mistakes, lots of them. Missed details in briefs, forgot to follow up on emails, took criticism too personally, and sometimes cried in the bathroom during lunch breaks. Sarah's job seemed easier, or maybe she was just better at it. She'd come home talking about successful presentations, clients who loved her ideas, senior partners who were impressed by her strategic thinking. I was happy for her, but I also felt like I was drowning while she was swimming. You're being too hard on yourself, she'd say, when I'd come home frustrated. Everyone struggles in the beginning. You'll get there, but I wasn't sure I would. I felt like everyone else had gotten some manual for professional life that I'd missed. They all knew how to navigate office politics, when to speak up, when to stay quiet, how to manage up and lateral and down. I was just trying to survive each day. 6 months in, my boss called me into her office. My heart sank. I was sure I was getting fired. Instead, she told me I was doing well, better than well. She saw potential in me. She wanted to give me more responsibility. I was shocked and relieved. And suddenly, for the first time since graduation, I felt like maybe I could do this. Maybe I wasn't as far behind as I thought. I told Sarah that night. Made her favorite dinner. We celebrated with wine on our tiny balcony. See? She said. I told you you'd be fine. You just needed to relax. She seemed genuinely happy for me. I had no reason to think otherwise. What I didn't know was that Sarah had already started her campaign. It was subtle at first. So subtle I never would have noticed, even if I'd been looking for it. We'd go to industry networking events together. Young professionals meetups, agency mixers, alumni gatherings. Sarah was magnetic at these events. She knew how to work a room. She'd introduce herself to everyone, collect business cards, follow up with thoughtful emails. I'd try to do the same, But I always felt awkward, like I was bothering people, like they were talking to me out of politeness rather than genuine interest. Sarah would help me. She'd pull me into conversations, introduce me to people, hype up my work. "This is my best friend," she'd say. "She's incredibly talented. You should see what she's working on." It felt good to have someone advocating for me, to have someone in my corner. What I didn't know was what she said after I left those conversations. A colleague told me, years later, about running into Sarah at one of these events. They'd been talking about the industry, about breaking in, about the challenges of being young and female in a male-dominated field. Sarah had mentioned me, said we were best friends, said I was talented but struggling. "She has such bad anxiety," Sarah had said, voice low, concerned. "She's seeing someone for it. I worry about her sometimes, whether this industry is the right fit, but I'm trying to support her through it. I was seeing a therapist." I'd told Sarah about it in confidence. I'd been dealing with some family stuff, my parents' divorce, adjusting to adult life. Normal things. Things lots of people work through. But Sarah had reframed it, made it sound like I was barely holding it together, made it sound like she was the stable one, the supportive friend managing her unstable best friend. She did this at multiple events. Different people, same story. Slight variations, but always the same core message. I was talented but fragile, promising but unreliable, someone to watch out for, but maybe not someone to bet your career on, and no one told me. Why would they? They weren't close enough to me to feel comfortable bringing it up. They took Sarah's word for it. She was confident, competent, clearly going places. If she said her best friend was struggling, it must be true. I had no idea my reputation was being built on a foundation of lies. Meanwhile, my work was going well, really well. I was getting more responsibilities, better clients. My boss started looping me into new business pitches. She told me she saw me moving into a senior associate role within the next year. I was cautiously optimistic. Excited, but trying not to jinx it. I told Sarah. Of course I did. I told her everything. "That's amazing," she said. "You've worked so hard for this." 2 weeks later, she ran into someone from my agency at a conference, someone on the leadership team, someone who had input on promotions. They talked about the industry, about Sarah's work, about her trajectory, and then, casually, Sarah mentioned me. "I'm so proud of her," Sarah said. "She's really passionate about the work, though I think she's taking on a lot. She was telling me the other night how overwhelmed she's been. I worry she's burning herself out." I'd mentioned to Sarah that I had a lot on my plate, that I was tired. It was a passing comment, the kind of thing you say to your best friend after a long week. Sarah had turned it into evidence that I couldn't handle pressure. The leadership team member made a note of it. Not consciously, maybe, but it planted a seed, a small doubt. Is she ready for more responsibility? Or is she already at capacity? When promotion discussions came around, my name came up. My boss advocated for me hard, but there were concerns. Vague ones. Nothing concrete. "We just want to make sure she's ready," someone said. "Maybe give her another 6 months to prove she can handle the workload consistently." My boss was frustrated but outvoted. I didn't get the promotion. She called me in to tell me. Said I'd done nothing wrong. That it was just timing. Politics. That I should keep doing what I was doing, and it would happen soon. But I felt crushed. I'd been so sure. I'd worked so hard. I went home and cried. Sarah was there. She held me while I sobbed into her shoulder. "Your boss is an idiot," she said. "They don't see what they have. But you know what? This means you're not tied down. You could look elsewhere. Somewhere that actually appreciates you." At the time, I thought she was being supportive. Now I know she was testing. Seeing if she could push me to leave the industry altogether. If I'd quit, she'd have one less competitor to manage. But I didn't quit. I doubled down, worked harder, stayed later, took on more. If they didn't think I could handle pressure, it'd prove them wrong. Sarah watched all of this, watched me exhaust myself trying to prove something that I'd never be able to prove because the deck was stacked against me, and she was the one stacking it. By the end of our second year in the city, Sarah had built an impressive network. She knew everyone, or at least, it seemed that way. Partners at major agencies, creative directors, brand managers at Fortune 500 companies. Shed somehow positioned herself as a rising star, someone worth knowing. I admired it. I wanted to be like that, so connected, so confident. Sarah started hosting networking events at our apartment. Small gatherings, intimate salon-style conversations, she called them. She'd invite 10 or 12 people, a mix of established professionals and younger talent, and we'd talk about industry trends, share war stories, drink wine, and eat cheese she'd carefully curated. I'd help her host, make sure glasses were full, facilitate introductions, clean up afterward. These events were good for me too, Sarah said. A chance to meet people in a low-pressure environment, to build relationships organically, and they were good for me. I met people, made connections, had conversations that sometimes led to coffee dates or informational interviews, but I noticed something over time. The connections never quite solidified for me the way they did for Sarah. Someone would seem genuinely interested in my work, would tell me to send them my portfolio, would say they'd love to stay in touch. I'd follow up, send a thoughtful email, reference our conversation, and then nothing, or a polite but distant response. Thanks for reaching out. We'll keep you in mind if anything comes up. It happened enough times that I started to think the problem was me. Maybe I wasn't as interesting as I thought. Maybe my work wasn't as good. Maybe I was doing something wrong in these follow-ups. I asked Sarah for advice. She reviewed my emails, made suggestions, maybe a little less formal, more personable. I adjusted. It didn't help. What I didn't know was that Sarah was doing follow-ups of her own. After these gatherings, she'd reach out to the attendees, thank them for coming, continue the conversation, and somewhere in those emails, casually, she'd mention me. The messages were always framed with concern, with fondness, with the appearance of looking out for her best friend. I'm so glad you got to meet my name. She's incredibly talented. I hope you'll consider her if anything comes up. Though I should mention, and I'm only saying this because I care about her, she can be a bit intense. She really cares about the work, which is wonderful, but sometimes she struggles with boundaries, work-life balance. I worry about her, honestly. But please do keep her in mind. Or, thanks again for coming. I hope you connected with my name. She's brilliant. Though between you and me, she's going through a tough time. Personal stuff. I'm trying to support her through it, but I know it's affecting her work. If you do reach out to her, maybe be patient if she seems scattered. Or, I'm so happy you two connected. My name is great. Though, and please don't mention, I said this, she can be a little defensive about feedback. I think it's an insecurity thing, but underneath that, she's really talented. Just wanted to give you a heads up in case you work with her. Every single message was poison dressed up as concern, and it worked. People would receive my follow-up emails and read them through the lens Sarah had given them, looking for signs of intensity, scatteredness, defensiveness, and because humans see what they're primed to see, they'd find it. A passionate email about wanting to work together became intensity. A casual mention of a project I was working on became scattered. A question about their feedback became defensive. I was being filtered through Sarah's narrative, and I had no idea. Meanwhile, Sarah's career was accelerating. She got promoted to senior associate, then to junior strategist, then to strategist. Each promotion came with accolades, increased responsibility, higher profile clients. People in our industry started knowing her name. She was invited to speak on panels, to judge award shows, to mentor younger professionals. She was becoming exactly what Shed wanted. Somebody, and I was becoming exactly what she needed me to be. The talented friend who never quite made it. The cautionary tale. The girl with potential who couldn't handle the pressure. It'd been working for 3 years. I was good at my job. My boss and immediate team knew it. But I couldn't seem to break through to the next level. Couldn't seem to get the recognition Sarah got so easily. I started to internalize it. Started to believe maybe I just wasn't as good as Sarah. Maybe she had something I didn't. Some special quality that made the difference between good and great. Shed tell me I was wrong. That I was just as talented as she was. That my time would come. You're overthinking it, Shed say. Success isn't linear. Look at me. I've just been lucky with timing. Your luck will come. But it wasn't luck. It was active, intentional sabotage, and I was too close to see it. There was one person who saw it, though. Someone who tried to warn me, in their way. Her name was Michelle. She was a few years older than us, a creative director at a competing agency. I'd met her at one of Sarah's networking events. We'd hit it off immediately. Michelle and I started getting coffee occasionally. She'd give me advice about navigating the industry. She'd review my work, offer feedback. She became something of a mentor. One day, about 3 months into our friendship, Michelle said something that should have been a red flag. I'm curious, she said, stirring her latte. How long have you and Sarah been friends? Since college, I said. 8 years now. You two are close. Yeah. She's my best friend. Michelle nodded slowly. Can I ask you something? And I want you to really think about it. Sure. Does she celebrate your wins? Actually celebrate them? I bristled a little. Of course she does. Why? I've been in this industry a long time. I've seen a lot of different types of relationships, and I've noticed that Sarah talks about you differently when you're not around. My stomach dropped. What do you mean? Nothing bad exactly. Just, she frames things in a certain way. Like you're someone who needs help. Someone who's struggling. I have been struggling, I said defensively. It's been a hard few years. Has it though? Or has Sarah just convinced you it has been? I didn't know how to answer that. Michelle backtracked. Look, I might be wrong. I don't know your friendship. Be careful. Watch how she reacts to your success. Real friends are happy when you win. I left that coffee feeling unsettled, but I pushed it down. Michelle didn't understand. She didn't know Sarah like I did. Sarah was my best friend. Shed never hurt me intentionally. I didn't tell Sarah about the conversation. Some instinct told me not to, but I started paying attention. Just a little. And once you start seeing the cracks, it's hard to stop. Year 4. The year everything should have changed for me. I'd been at my agency for 3.5 years. I was doing senior level work without the senior level title or pay. My boss knew it. She'd been advocating for my promotion for over a year. Finally, it looked like it was happening. There was a new position opening up. Senior strategist. More responsibility, better clients, significant pay bump. I was qualified. I was ready. My boss told me the role was mine if I wanted it. She just needed to get final approval from the executive team. This is a formality, she said. You're the obvious choice. I was ecstatic. Terrified, but ecstatic. This was what I'd been working toward. Proof that I belonged here. That I was good enough. I told Sarah that night. We were having dinner at our favorite Thai place, a little hole in the wall with the best curry in the city. She squealed when I told her. Actually squealed. Hugged me tight. I knew it, she said. I knew this year would be your year. We need to celebrate. This weekend, I'm taking you out. She seemed so genuinely happy. So proud. How could I have known what she'd do next? The executive team at my agency was small. 3 people. My boss, the CEO, and the head of new business. Sarah didn't know any of them personally. Not well, anyway. But she knew someone who knew the head of new business. A former colleague of his. Someone Shed worked with on a campaign 6 months earlier. She reached out to him. Asked if he'd have coffee. Said she wanted to pick his brain about new business strategy. They met. They talked shop. And at some point, Sarah mentioned that she thought she knew someone at his company. Me. Really? He said. She's great. We're actually about to promote her. Oh wow. That's amazing, Sarah said. And then, carefully, I hope you don't mind me asking, but do you think she's ready for a senior role? He was immediately defensive. Of course. Why would you ask that? Sarah backtracked. No. I'm not questioning her talent. She's brilliant. It's just, we're roommates. I see how much the stress affects her. She has these panic attacks. She barely sleeps. I worry about what a promotion would do to her mental health. More pressure, more responsibility. I didn't know she was dealing with anxiety issues, he said. She doesn't really talk about it at work, Sarah said. She's trying to push through, which I admire, but am concerned. As her friend, the seed was planted. The head of new business went back to the office troubled. He pulled my boss aside, asked if she was aware of my mental health situation. My boss was confused. What mental health situation? I heard she's been having panic attacks, that she's really struggling with stress. Who told you that? He mentioned Sarah's name. My boss's face went tight. I'm not aware of any issues. She seems perfectly fine to me. But the doubt was there now. Even though my boss defended me, even though she insisted I was ready, the executive team decided to table the promotion. Just for a few months, just to make sure. They didn't tell me about Sarah's conversation. They didn't tell me what had made them hesitate. They just told me the timing wasn't right, that they needed to restructure some things first, that the promotion was still happening, just not yet. I was devastated. But more than that, I was confused. My boss had said it was a done deal. What had changed? I asked her. She hesitated, then said, there were some concerns raised. Nothing about your work, just be patient. What kind of concerns? I can't really get into it. But I want you to know I'm still fighting for you. I went home. Sarah was there, cooking dinner. How'd it go? She asked. Did you get the official offer? No, I said, my voice flat. They decided to wait. Her face fell. Oh no. Why? I don't know. My boss was vague. She came over, wrapped me in a hug. That's so frustrating. I cried into her shoulder. She made soothing noises, told me it would be okay, that this company was stupid for not seeing what they had. She ordered my favorite takeout, put on a comfort movie, sat with me while I processed the disappointment. She was the perfect best friend, and the whole time, she knew exactly why I didn't get the promotion. Because Shed killed it. I didn't get promoted for another 8 months. By then, he'd almost left the agency entirely. Sarah had encouraged me to look elsewhere, to find somewhere that valued me. I'd sent out resumes, had a few interviews, but nothing panned out. Now I wonder who Sarah talked to at those companies, what concerns she raised, what friendships Shed carefully cultivated just to have weapons in her arsenal when she needed them. When I finally got promoted, it felt hollow, like a consolation prize. Sarah took me out to celebrate. She gave a toast. To my incredibly talented best friend, she said, raising her glass, who never gave up, who kept pushing even when they didn't appreciate her. I'm so proud of you. I clinked my glass against hers. I had no idea she was the reason I'd had to push so hard in the first place. Year 5 was supposed to be different. I had my promotion now. Senior strategist, a team of my own, better clients, more creative freedom. I was finally where I'd wanted to be, and I was good at it. Really good. My campaigns were winning pitches. Clients were happy. My team respected me. For the first time in years, I felt confident, Like id found my footing. Then the Morrison account came up. Morrison was a legacy brand trying to modernize. They were looking for an agency to completely reimagine their identity. It was the kind of project careers were built on. High profile, substantial budget, opportunity for creative risks. Every agency in the city wanted it. We were invited to pitch. My creative director assigned it to me. "This is your project," she said. "I want you to lead the strategy. Pull together your best team. Knock this out of the park." I was thrilled and terrified. This was the biggest opportunity id ever had. I threw myself into it. Research, competitive analysis, consumer insights. I was building something I was proud of, something bold. I talked about it constantly. To my team, to my boss, and yes, to Sarah. We'd have dinner and id walk her through my thinking. She'd ask questions, offer perspectives, challenge assumptions. I thought she was helping me sharpen my ideas. Now I know she was gathering ammunition. Sarah had a friend, let's call him Derek, who worked at Morrison. They'd met years ago at some industry event, stayed in touch, occasionally grabbed drinks when Derek was in town. Sarah reached out to him, said she'd love to catch up. They met for lunch. Over sushi and sake, they talked about their careers, about the industry, about Morrison's rebrand. "That's so exciting," Sarah said. "You must have agencies coming out of the woodwork." "Yeah. It's been intense. We're seeing pitches from everyone. Has anyone stood out?" Derek mentioned a few agencies, including mine. "Oh, interesting," Sarah said. "My best friend works there, actually. She might even be on the team. Small world. Super small. She's great. Really creative." Pause. "Though I have to say, I'm a little worried about her taking on something this big." Derek's attention sharpened. "Why? She's been burning herself out lately. Taking on too much. Having trouble delegating. I love her, but she has this habit of overcomplicating things. Making strategies too dense, too academic. Sometimes clients get lost in her presentations because there's just too much information." "Huh. That's concerning for a rebrand. We need clarity." "Right. And look, I'm sure she'll do fine. She's talented. Just, if you're evaluating pitches, you might want to watch out for that. Make sure whoever wins can actually execute." Derek nodded slowly. Sarah had planted the seed. Our pitch was in 3 weeks. I was working on it non-stop, refining the strategy, working with the creative team, rehearsing the presentation. My boss gave me notes. They were good, helpful. The strategy was solid. Then, 2 weeks before the pitch, Derek, acting on Sarah's concern, reached out to our CEO. He said he wanted a preliminary conversation, just to make sure we were on the right track. Our CEO looped in my creative director. They had a call with Derek. Derek asked pointed questions about our approach, about who was leading the strategy, about whether we were keeping it simple, focused, executable. "Because we've worked with agencies before that overthink it," he said. "That present these elaborate strategies that look great on paper but fall apart in execution." My creative director assured him that wasn't our approach. But Derek's concerns got back to me. My boss called me in. "Derek seems worried we're going to overcomplicate this," she said. "What? Why would he think that?" "I don't know. He just kept emphasizing that they need clarity, simplicity. I think maybe we should review the strategy again. Make sure it's tight." I was confused. We'd already reviewed it multiple times. It was tight, but now I was second-guessing myself. Was it too complicated? I spent the next week stripping the strategy down, simplifying, removing nuance, making it more basic. It was still good. But it wasn't bold anymore. It wasn't what id wanted to present. We pitched. It was fine, professional, competent. We didn't win. The feedback we got was that our strategy felt safe, that they'd been hoping for something more innovative. I was crushed. We'd had something innovative, Id dumbed it down because I was afraid it was too complicated. My creative director was disappointed but tried to be supportive. These things happen. Well, get the next one. But I felt like Id failed. Like Id had a chance and blown it. I went home and told Sarah. She ordered pizza, opened wine, let me vent. They don't know what they're missing, she said. You're brilliant. They're idiots. 2 months later, I found out through the industry grapevine that Derek had mentioned to several people that agencies should be careful about putting junior strategists on major rebrands, that sometimes they overcomplicate things. Had been at a conference, talking to other brand managers, warning them based on his experience with us. It took me years to connect that back to Sarah. Year 6 was when the cracks started showing. Not in Sarah's facade that was still perfect, but in my ability to keep pretending everything was fine. I was exhausted, burnt out. I'd been fighting uphill for 6 years. Every success felt like Id had to work 3 times harder than anyone else to earn it. Every failure felt like confirmation that I wasn't good enough. I was in therapy twice a week. My therapist was concerned about my self-esteem, my anxiety, my tendency to catastrophize. You're very hard on yourself, she said. Where do you think that comes from? I didn't know. It had been building for years. This feeling that I was always on the verge of being exposed as a fraud, that everyone else had it figured out and I was just barely keeping up. My therapist suggested I might be experiencing imposter syndrome. She gave me books to read, exercises to work through. I tried, but it didn't help. Because the problem wasn't actually imposter syndrome. The problem was that someone was actively working to make me feel like an imposter. I just didn't know it yet. Around this time, I started noticing something strange. People in the industry would act weird around me. I'd go to networking events less frequently now. I'd been withdrawing, losing motivation, and people would give me these looks. Pity? Concern? I couldn't quite identify it. Someone asked me once, point blank, "Are you doing okay? Like, really okay?" "Yeah," I said, confused. "Why?" "No reason. Just checking." It happened more than once. Different people, same tone. Like they'd all heard something about me. Something concerning. I asked Sarah if she'd noticed it. "Maybe people can tell you've been stressed," she said. "You've been working so hard. Maybe you're not hiding it as well as you think." That made me paranoid. Was I telegraphing my stress? Did I come across as unstable? I started monitoring myself obsessively at events, trying to seem more put together, more confident. But that just made me more anxious, which probably made me seem worse. It was a spiral. Around this time, Michelle, the creative director who'd tried to warn me years earlier, reached out. She wanted to have coffee. We met at a cafe near my office. "I'm going to be direct," she said, "because I like you, and I think you deserve to know." My heart started racing. "Know what? There are rumors about you in the industry. Have been for a while." "What kind of rumors?" "That you're struggling. That you're unreliable. That you have some kind of mental health situation that's affecting your work." I felt like I'd been punched. That's not true. I mean, I've been stressed, but I'm not unreliable. My work is good. My boss would tell you. "I know," Michelle said. "I've seen your work. It's excellent. That's why I'm telling you this. Because the rumors don't match reality. Where are they coming from?" Michelle hesitated. "I don't know for sure. But I've heard Sarah mention concerns about you. Multiple times. To multiple people." "Sarah? My Sarah?" "Yes." I shook my head. "That doesn't make sense. She's my best friend." "She wouldn't she?" Michelle looked at me carefully. "Has your career improved since you've known her? Or has it gotten harder? That's not her fault. The industry is competitive. I've just had bad luck." "For 6 straight years?" I didn't know what to say. Michelle reached across the table, took my hand. "I'm not trying to blow up your friendship. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there's an explanation, but I've been in this industry for 15 years. I've seen this pattern before. Ambitious women tearing down other ambitious women, disguising it as concern, as friendship. Sarah wouldn't do that. Okay, Michelle said. Then prove me wrong. Pay attention. Watch how she talks about you to other people. Watch how she reacts when good things happen to you. I left that coffee feeling sick. I didn't want to believe it. Sarah was my best friend. My person. We'd been through everything together, but Michelle had planted a seed of doubt. And once it's planted, it's hard to kill. I started paying attention. It was small things at first. So small I almost dismissed them. We'd go to an event together. Someone would congratulate me on a recent campaign. Sarah would smile, say something supportive. Then, after I walked away, I'd glance back and see her still talking to that person, their heads close together, their expressions serious. What were they talking about? When I'd ask her later, she'd say, "Oh, nothing important, just chatting." Or, I'd mention an opportunity I was excited about, a panel I'd been invited to speak on, an award my work had been nominated for, and Sarah's first reaction, just for a split second, would be something other than happiness, a tightening around her eyes, a forced quality to her smile. Then it would disappear, replaced by enthusiasm. But I'd seen it. I started testing her. Small tests. Stupid ones, maybe. I told her I was up for a big project. Watched her reaction. "That's great," she said. "Bright, cheerful. You deserve it." But her hands were clenched under the table. I could see her knuckles white. Why would my success make her tense? I didn't get that project, by the way. Found out later the client had concerns about my reliability. They'd heard things. From who? I wondered. I was starting to have suspicions. Terrible, friendship-ending suspicions. But I didn't want to believe them. Because believing them meant I'd wasted 8 years. Meant I'd trusted someone who'd been destroying me the entire time. So I did what anyone would do. I looked for evidence. I started paying attention to Sarah's schedule. When she'd say she was meeting clients, I'd notice she was actually at coffee with people in my network. People had then, mysteriously, become colder toward me. I started keeping a log. Dates. Times. Who Sarah met with. What happened to my career afterward. The pattern was undeniable, but I still needed proof. Real proof. Something concrete. I didn't know how I'd get it. Until that Tuesday afternoon, when she asked to use my laptop. I need to walk you through that afternoon in detail, because it's the moment everything changed. It was a Tuesday. Normal day. I was at my desk working on a proposal for a potential client. The Morrison pitch had been months ago, but I was still trying to prove myself, still trying to shake the reputation I didn't understand I had. Around 2 p.m., my phone rang. "Sarah, hey, are you at the office?" "Yeah." "Why?" "I'm in the area. Meeting a client nearby. Can I pop up for a minute? I want to grab coffee after and I have some time to kill." This wasn't unusual. We'd sometimes meet up during work hours if our schedules aligned. Our offices were only 3 blocks apart. "Sure. Come up." She arrived 15 minutes later. We chatted while I finished the email I was working on. Surface stuff. Her meeting. My proposal. What we wanted for dinner. "Hey, can I use your computer real quick?" she asked. "Mine's at like 2% and I need to check when my next meeting is." "Yeah, of course." I turned back to my own screen. She sat down at my desk, opened my laptop. I was focused on my work, barely paying attention to her. Then her phone rang. "Sorry, I have to take this," she said, already standing, walking toward the hallway. "Client." "No problem." She left. I kept working. A minute passed. 2. My laptop went to sleep. It was set to do that after 90 seconds of inactivity. I reached over to wake it up, intending to close whatever browser tab she'd opened. But when the screen came to life, I realized she hadn't checked a calendar. Shed logged into her email. On my computer, her personal Gmail account, and Shed left it open. I should have closed it immediately. Should have respected her privacy, but something made me pause. I saw my name in one of the subject lines, right there at the top of her inbox. Quick thought about my name and the Morrison pitch, sent 2 hours ago, to someone whose name I didn't recognize. My hand was shaking as I clicked on it. The email opened. Hi Marcus, hope you're well. I heard through the grapevine that your team is pitching Morrison this week. I actually know their CMO pretty well. We worked together a few years ago. Just wanted to give you a heads up that they're really particular about messaging hierarchy and clarity. I know my name has been leading the strategy, and she's talented, but she tends to overcomplicate things, gets too theoretical. I've seen it happen in her work before. Might be worth having someone more senior review the strategy before the pitch. Just a thought. Let me know if I can be helpful in any other way. Happy to chat more about Morrison's needs if useful. Best, Sarah. I read it 3 times. Then I looked at the name. Marcus. Marcus was my creative director. My boss. Sarah had sent this email to my creative director 2 hours ago, right before our pitch review. The breath left my body. This was why Marcus had suddenly worried the strategy was too complicated. Why Head insisted we simplify it. Why Wed stripped out all the innovative thinking. Because Sarah had told him I overcomplicate things. I sat there, staring at the screen, my brain trying to process what I was seeing. Then, like a dam breaking, I thought, if there's one email, there are more. I scrolled down. There were dozens. Hundreds, maybe. I started clicking randomly. One to someone at a company I'd interviewed with 2 years ago. Thanks for considering my name for the role. I should mention, as her friend, she's been dealing with some personal stuff lately that's been affecting her focus. Just wanted to give you a heads up. She's great when she's on, but lately, she's been a bit scattered. Thought you should know before making a decision. I didn't get that job. They'd told me they were going in a different direction. Another email. To someone I'd met at a networking event. So glad you met my name. She's talented for sure. Between you and me, though, she can be kind of intense. Takes things very personally. I've had to talk her down from spirals more times than I can count. Just something to be aware of if you work with her. Another, to a conference organizer who'd invited me to speak on a panel. I think my name would be great on the panel. Though I should check, is there media training beforehand? She sometimes gets nervous in front of crowds. I'd hate for her to freeze up. Maybe a smaller panel first to build her confidence? They'd rescinded the invitation. Said they were going with someone with more speaking experience. Another, to my old boss. Congratulations on my name's promotion. She's been working so hard. I just hope it's not too much too fast. She was telling me how overwhelmed she's been feeling. I know she won't say anything to you directly. She hates seeming weak, but I'm a little concerned about her capacity. Just wanted to mention it as her friend. That was the promotion that got delayed. The one that took 8 extra months. I kept scrolling, kept clicking. Each email worse than the last. Years of carefully crafted sabotage, all framed as concern, as friendship, as helpful heads-ups, all designed to make me look unstable, unreliable, not quite ready. My vision blurred. I was crying and didn't realize it. The door opened. Sarah walked back in, phone in hand, still talking to her client. She saw me at my desk, saw her email open on my screen, saw my face. For just a second, one fraction of a second, her expression changed. Not guilty, not shocked, satisfied. Like this was what Shed wanted all along. Like maybe Shed left her email open on purpose. Like maybe she was tired of pretending. Then the mask slipped back on. She ended her call abruptly. Oh my God, I forgot to log out. I'm so sorry, that's so unprofessional. Stop, I said. My voice was shaking but surprisingly calm. Just stop. Stop what? I just forgot to. I read them. The emails. All of them. Silence. We stared at each other. 8 years of friendship cracking apart in the space between us. You sabotaged me, I said. For years, every failed interview, every lost promotion, every opportunity that fell through it was you. All of it was you. She opened her mouth, closed it, calculating. I could see her trying to figure out if she could spin this, if she could explain it away, make herself the victim somehow. It's not what you think, she started. It's exactly what I think, I interrupted. You've been systematically destroying my career while pretending to be my best friend. While I trusted you. While I told you everything, I was trying to help you, she said. And she sounded like she believed it. Like Shed convinced herself this was true. You put so much pressure on yourself. You were always so stressed. I thought if you had less pressure, you'd be happier. I laughed. A harsh, broken sound. You thought ruining my career would make me happier? I thought protecting you from failure. By ensuring I failed, my voice was loud now. People were looking. I didn't care. You weren't protecting me from anything, I continued. You were protecting yourself from competition, from the possibility that I might be as good as you, better than you. Her jaw clenched. There it was, the truth she didn't want to admit. That's not fair, she said weakly. Fair? You want to talk about fair? I could feel rage building in my chest, hot, burning. You destroyed my career. You made me think I was broken. Not good enough. You took every insecurity I shared with you as my friend and weaponized it. Do you have any idea what that did to me? She looked at the floor. The therapy bills, I said. The panic attacks. The years I spent thinking I was fundamentally flawed. That was all you. All of it. That's not. Get out. She looked up, startled. Get out of my office. Get out of my life. I never want to see you again. We can talk about this. There's nothing to talk about. You systematically sabotaged me for 8 years. What could you possibly say that would make that okay? People were definitely staring now. My colleagues, heads popping up from cubicles. Someone had notified my boss. I could see her walking toward us. You need to leave, I said again. Quieter this time, but with finality. Sarah looked at me for a long moment, and I saw something in her face I'd never seen before. Not guilt, not remorse, resentment. She was angry that I'd caught her. Angry that I was making a scene. Angry that she was losing control of the narrative. Fine, she said, but you're making a mistake. You need me. I needed a friend, I said. Not a saboteur. Get out. She left, and I sat down at my desk and cried. Not quietly, not gracefully. Big, heaving sobs that came from somewhere deep inside. My boss appeared, put a hand on my shoulder. What happened? I couldn't speak, just gestured to the laptop, to Sarah's email still open on the screen. My boss started reading. Her face went white, then red. Is this what I think it is? I nodded. How long has this been going on? 8 years, I whispered. She's been doing this for 8 years. I don't remember much about the rest of that day. I know my boss took screenshots of everything. Every email she could find in Sarah's inbox. She told me to go home. That we'd deal with this tomorrow. I know I walked home in a daze. 3 blocks felt like 3 miles. I know I walked into our apartment, Sarah's and mine, and couldn't be there. Couldn't breathe in the same space as her things. I called my mom, told her everything. She offered to drive up immediately. She lived 2 hours away, but I told her not to. I just needed to hear her voice. Sweetheart, she said, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I slept at a hotel that night, a cheap one near my office. Couldn't face the apartment. Couldn't face the possibility of Sarah coming home. The next morning, I went back to work. My boss was already in a meeting with HR and our CEO. They called me in. We want to make this right, the CEO said. What Sarah did, we had no idea. I'm so sorry. The head of HR was furious. This is corporate sabotage. She contacted clients, interfered with business operations. We're documenting everything for potential legal action. Legal action. The words felt surreal. I don't want to sue her, I said. I just want her away from me. We understand, my boss said. But we need to understand the scope. How much did she interfere? Who did she contact? I spent 3 hours going through Sarah's emails with them, creating a timeline, matching emails to events in my career, every failed interview, every delayed promotion, every project that fell through, every reputation problem Id had, all of it traced back to Sarah. By the end, the HR director looked ill. This is worse than we thought. They launched a full investigation. Reached out to everyone Sarah had contacted, asked them directly. Had she said things about me? Had those things influenced their decisions? Most people were honest, embarrassed, but honest. Yes, they'd received emails from Sarah. Yes, they'd taken her word for it. She was well respected. They'd had no reason to question her motives. One hiring manager Id interviewed with 2 years ago said, "I'm so sorry. She called you her best friend. I thought she was looking out for you. I never considered she might be lying." Another said, "She seemed so concerned, so genuine. How were we supposed to know?" That was the thing. Sarah had been careful. She had never said anything overtly negative. Just concerns, gentle warnings. "I care about her so much, I just worry. She's talented, but between you and me, plausible deniability." She could always claim she was trying to help, that her intentions were good, but the pattern was undeniable. Marcus, my creative director, the one who'd received the Morrison email, apologized profusely. "I should have talked to you directly. I should have asked if you were really struggling, instead of just believing her. I failed you." The Morrison pitch haunted me. WED had something good. Id diluted it because Sarah had made them doubt me. My boss asked if I wanted to reach out to Morrison. Explain what happened. See if they'd reconsider. I said no. The pitch had been months ago. They'd moved on. So had I. But internally, my company tried to make amends. They gave me the promotion I should have had years ago. Senior strategist to associate creative director, significant pay raise, better clients. They restructured my team, gave me more autonomy, made it clear they valued me. It felt good, validating, but also hollow. Because how much of my career had I lost? How many opportunities had Sarah stolen? I'd never get those years back. Word count, 693. Section 9. Moving out. I couldn't live with Sarah anymore, obviously, but our lease didn't end for 3 more months. And I couldn't afford to break it alone. The penalty was steep. I talked to my mom. She offered to help cover the cost. "I'll pay for you to break the lease," she said. "I don't want you living with that girl for 1 more day." But before I could make arrangements, Sarah made them for me. I came home from work 3 days after the confrontation. Had been staying at the hotel, going back to the apartment only when I knew Sarah was at work to grab clothes and necessities. When I walked in, most of her stuff was gone. Furniture shed, bought, decorations, her bedroom emptied out. There was a note on the kitchen counter. "I'm staying with a friend until I figure things out. You can have the apartment. I'll keep paying my half of rent until the lease is up. After that, we're done." No apology, no explanation. Just done. I should have felt relieved. Instead, I felt sick. 8 years of friendship ended with a note on the counter. I called my mom and cried. "It's really over." "Good," she said firmly. "That girl was poison. You're better off without her." She was right. I knew she was right, but it still hurt. Grief is weird. Even when you're grieving something toxic, something that hurt you, it's still grief. I grieved the friendship I thought I had, the person I thought Sarah was, The 8 years I'd invested in someone who'd been working against me the whole time. My therapist helped me process it. "You didn't lose a friend," she said. "You never had one. What you lost was an illusion, and that's worth grieving." I grieved the version of myself from 8 years ago who'd met Sarah and thought she'd found someone special. I grieved her naivety, her trust, and I grieved the career I might have had, the person I might have been, if I hadn't spent 8 years being systematically undermined. "You can't think like that," my therapist said. "You can't live in the parallel universe. You can only work with where you are now." She was right. But it was hard not to wonder, where would I be if Sarah hadn't sabotaged me? Would I be a creative director by now? Would I have started my own agency? Would I have had more confidence? Less anxiety? A better relationship with myself? I'd never know. Word spread quickly in our industry. Not the details. I asked HR to keep the specifics confidential, but the general story. Sarah had been sabotaging me for years. While pretending to be my friend, the response was complicated. Some people were horrified, reached out to apologize for believing Sarah's lies, for being complicit, even unwittingly. Michelle, the creative director who'd tried to warn me, sent a long email. "I'm so sorry I didn't push harder. I knew something was wrong, but I didn't want to overstep. I should have been clearer. I told her it wasn't her fault. She'd tried to warn me. I hadn't wanted to listen. Other people were defensive. They'd worked with Sarah, liked her, respected her. They didn't want to believe she was capable of this. Maybe it was a misunderstanding," someone suggested at a networking event. "Maybe she really thought she was helping." I left that event early. Didn't have the energy to defend myself, to explain that there's no universe where hundreds of emails undermining someone is helping. And then there were the people who blamed me. "Why didn't you notice sooner?" someone asked. 8 years is a long time to not see what was happening. "How do you not know your best friend is sabotaging you?" another person said. Not to my face, but I heard about it. That stung, because I asked myself the same question. How had I not seen it? The answer, I realized, was that I'd never been looking for it. You don't suspect your best friend of destroying you. The entire framework of friendship is built on trust, on assuming good intentions. Sarah had exploited that, had counted on the fact that I'd never suspect her because why would I? She was my best friend. The betrayal was so complete, so perfect, because it was invisible. I'd been looking for enemies in all the wrong places, competitive colleagues, difficult clients, systemic industry problems. I'd never thought to look at the person closest to me. But some people didn't get that. They saw it as weakness, as me being naive or stupid. I would have known, they'd say, confident in their own judgment. Would they, though? Or would they have done exactly what I did, trusted their friend, believed their concern was genuine, never questioned the narrative? I wanted to ask them but didn't. Let them believe they'd be smarter, more perceptive. Maybe they would be. Maybe I was uniquely foolish. Or maybe they'd just never experienced betrayal this intimate, this calculated. I hope they never do. Sarah, meanwhile, was having her own reckoning. HR had reached out to her company, explained the situation, provided evidence. Her company launched their own investigation, called in people she'd worked with, asked questions. They found more instances of her undermining colleagues. Not as extreme as what she'd done to me, but a pattern nonetheless. Apparently, I wasn't her only project, just her main one. She was fired. I heard about it through the grapevine. Someone who knew someone who worked at her company. Part of me felt satisfied. Justice served, but another part felt empty. Her being fired didn't give me back my lost years, didn't undo the damage. Revenge isn't actually sweet. It's just closure. And not even good closure. Sarah disappeared from the industry, deleted her LinkedIn, stopped going to events. I heard rumors she'd moved cities, that she was working in a different field. Good. Let her start over somewhere else. Away from me. Away from anyone she could hurt the way she hurt me. Word spread quickly in our industry. Not the details. I asked HR to keep the specifics confidential, but the general story. Sarah had been sabotaging me. For years. While pretending to be my friend, the response was complicated. Some people were horrified. Reached out to apologize for believing Sarah's lies, for being complicit. Even unwittingly. Michelle, the creative director who'd tried to warn me, sent a long email. I'm so sorry I didn't push harder. I knew something was wrong, but I didn't want to overstep. I should have been clearer. I told her it wasn't her fault. Shed tried to warn me. I hadn't wanted to listen. Other people were defensive. They'd worked with Sarah, liked her, respected her. They didn't want to believe she was capable of this. Maybe it was a misunderstanding, someone suggested at a networking event. Maybe she really thought she was helping. I left that event early, didn't have the energy to defend myself, to explain that there's no universe where hundreds of emails undermining someone is helping. And then there were the people who blamed me. Why didn't you notice sooner? Someone asked. 8 years is a long time to not see what was happening. How do you not know your best friend is sabotaging you? Another person said. Not to my face, but I heard about it. That stung. Because I asked myself the same question, how had I not seen it? The answer, I realized, was that I'd never been looking for it. You don't suspect your best friend of destroying you. The entire framework of friendship is built on trust, on assuming good intentions. Sarah had exploited that. Had counted on the fact that I'd never suspect her because why would I? She was my best friend. The betrayal was so complete, so perfect, because it was invisible. I'd been looking for enemies in all the wrong places. Competitive colleagues, difficult clients, systemic industry problems. I'd never thought to look at the person closest to me. But some people didn't get that. They saw it as weakness, as me being naive or stupid. I would have known, they'd say, confident in their own judgment. Would they, though? Or would they have done exactly what I did? Trusted their friend, believed their concern was genuine, never questioned the narrative. I wanted to ask them, but didn't. Let them believe they'd be smarter, more perceptive. Maybe they would be. Maybe I was uniquely foolish. Or maybe they'd just never experienced betrayal this intimate, this calculated. I hope they never do. Sarah, meanwhile, was having her own reckoning. HR had reached out to her company, explained the situation, provided evidence. Her company launched their own investigation, called in people Shed worked with, asked questions. They found more instances of her undermining colleagues. Not as extreme as what Shed done to me, but a pattern nonetheless. Apparently, I wasn't her only project, just her main one. She was fired. I heard about it through the grapevine. Someone who knew someone who worked at her company. Part of me felt satisfied. Justice served, but another part felt empty. Her being fired didn't give me back my lost years, didn't undo the damage. Revenge isn't actually sweet. It's just closure. And not even good closure. Sarah disappeared from the industry, deleted her LinkedIn, stopped going to events. I heard rumors Shed moved cities, that she was working in a different field. Good, let her start over somewhere else. Away from me. Away from anyone she could hurt the way she hurt me. The hardest part of all of this wasn't the career damage. It was learning to trust again. I didn't trust my judgment anymore. If I'd been so wrong about Sarah, someone I'd known for 8 years, someone I'd lived with, my best friend, how could I trust my judgment about anyone? Every new colleague who was friendly, I wondered, are they genuine? Or are they Sarah too? Every networking contact who took interest in my work, I questioned, what do they really want? Every friendship that started to develop, I pulled back from. Because what if I was wrong again? What if I couldn't see what was right in front of me? My therapist called it trust trauma. You're not broken, she said. You're having a normal reaction to an abnormal situation. Most people never experience betrayal this profound. Your brain is trying to protect you from it happening again, by never trusting anyone, by being hypervigilant, which is exhausting and isolating but feels safer than being vulnerable. She was right. I was exhausted. Id built walls so high, I was suffocating behind them. So, what do? I asked. You practice trusting in small doses. You watch for actual red flags, not the ones Sarah displayed, but real ones. And you remind yourself that she was an anomaly. Most people aren't like her. It sounded easy in theory. In practice, it was brutal. I had to actively fight against my instinct to pull away, to isolate, to protect myself by never being vulnerable. I joined a professional women's group, forced myself to go to meetings, to talk to people. At first, I was guarded, shared nothing personal, kept every conversation surface level. But slowly, so slowly, I started opening up. Small things. A frustration about a client, a question about a career decision, a worry about a presentation. And people were normal, supportive, not sabotaging me. One woman in the group, Patricia, became a friend, a real friend. It terrified me. I need you to know something, I told her, after we'd been friends for a few months. I have serious trust issues from a past friendship that went very wrong. Okay, Patricia said. Do you want to talk about it? I told her. Not everything, but the broad strokes. Sarah, the sabotage, the 8 years of lies. Patricia listened, then said, That's horrific. I'm so sorry that happened to you. I'm telling you because I need you to understand that if I'm weird sometimes, if I pull back or get suspicious over nothing, it's not about you. It's about my own damage. We all have damage, Patricia said. I appreciate you trusting me enough to share this. And I promise I'll be patient while you figure out if you can trust me. That made me cry. The understanding, the gentleness. Patricia became proof that not everyone is Sarah, that some people are exactly who they appear to be. She celebrated my wins, genuinely. Without that edge of resentment, I'd learned to recognize in Sarah. When I got a major client, Patricia took me out to celebrate. She gave a toast to my incredibly talented friend who deserves every good thing that comes her way. Simple words, but they meant everything because they were real. Slowly, I started building a network of real friends, people who rooted for me, who celebrated my success instead of undermining it. And I learned to trust my instincts again. Not perfectly, I still second-guessed myself sometimes, still had moments of paranoia, but I was getting better. I was healing. Word count, 660. Section 12. Understanding. Why? The psychology of sabotage. I spent a lot of time trying to understand why Sarah did it. Not to excuse it. There's no excuse. But to make sense of it. To prevent myself from being victimized again. My therapist explained something called frenemy dynamics. Some people seek out friendships not because they value connection, but because they need to control the narrative around their own success, she said. What does that mean? It means Sarah's self-worth was tied to being better than you. Not better than everyone, just better than you, specifically. You were her measuring stick. But why me? Because you were similar enough to be competition, but trusting enough to be controlled. You were the perfect victim. That hurt to hear. But it made sense. Sarah had chosen me deliberately. Young, ambitious, naive. Someone who wanted a best friend badly enough to overlook red flags. And once she had me, she'd cultivated my dependence, made herself my only real confidant, isolated me from other close friendships by taking up all my emotional space. Classic abuser tactics. But I'd never thought of her as an abuser because we weren't in a romantic relationship. Abuse isn't limited to romantic or familial relationships, my therapist said. Friendships can be abusive too. What Sarah did was emotional and professional abuse. The word abuse felt too big, too serious, but it fit. Shed systematically undermined my self-worth, made me doubt my capabilities, isolated me, gaslighted me into thinking my career failures were my fault, all while positioning herself as my support system. The one person I could count on. It was textbook. My therapist recommended I read about covert narcissism. People who appear caring and supportive on the surface, but are actually deeply manipulative. I read everything I could find. It all sounded like Sarah. The need for admiration disguised as humility. The resentment toward others' success masked as concern. The zero-sum view of achievement. If someone else wins, they lose. Sarah hadn't been able to tolerate my success because it threatened her identity as the successful one in our friendship. So Shed ensured I never succeeded. Or when I did, it was only after Shed succeeded first. And bigger. She needed me to fail so she could feel good about herself. But she also needed me to keep trying. Because if I quit entirely, left the industry, Shed lose her point of comparison. So Shed sabotage me, then console me, knock me down, then help me up just enough to knock me down again. It was a sick cycle. And I'd been trapped in it without even knowing. One thing my therapist said stuck with me. Real friends celebrate your wins and mourn your losses. Fake friends mourn your wins and celebrate your losses. They just do it in private. Sarah had celebrated my losses in private. To my bosses, to my clients, to industry contacts, while to my face, she mourned them with me. I thought about all those nights Shed come over with wine after I didn't get a job or a promotion. All those pep talks. Shed loved those moments. Not because she cared about me, but because they confirmed her sabotage was working. That realization made me physically ill. Understanding the psychology helped, though. It depersonalized it slightly. This wasn't about me being unworthy or unlikable. This was about Sarah's brokenness, her inability to feel good about herself without tearing someone else down. I almost felt sorry for her. Almost. Because whatever demons Sarah was fighting, Shed made them my problem. Had sacrificed 8 years of my career, my mental health, my sense of self to feed her ego, and that was unforgivable. I spent a lot of time trying to understand why Sarah did it, not to excuse it. There's no excuse, but to make sense of it. To prevent myself from being victimized again. My therapist explained something called frenemy dynamics. Some people seek out friendships not because they value connection, but because they need to control the narrative around their own success, she said. What does that mean? It means Sarah's self-worth was tied to being better than you. Not better than everyone, just better than you, specifically. You were her measuring stick. But why me? Because you were similar enough to be competition, but trusting enough to be controlled. You were the perfect victim. That hurt to hear, but it made sense. Sarah had chosen me deliberately. Young, ambitious, naive. Someone who wanted a best friend badly enough to overlook red flags. And once she had me, Shed cultivated my dependence. Made herself my only real confidant. Isolated me from other close friendships by taking up all my emotional space. Classic abuser tactics. But I'd never thought of her as an abuser because we weren't in a romantic relationship. Abuse isn't limited to romantic or familial relationships, my therapist said. Friendships can be abusive too. What Sarah did was emotional and professional abuse. The word abuse felt too big, too serious, but it fit. Shed systematically undermined my self-worth, made me doubt my capabilities, isolated me, gaslighted me into thinking my career failures were my fault, all while positioning herself as my support system. The one person I could count on. It was textbook. My therapist recommended I read about covert narcissism. People who appear caring and supportive on the surface, but are actually deeply manipulative. I read everything I could find. It all sounded like Sarah. The need for admiration disguised as humility. The resentment toward others, success masked as concern. The zero-sum view of achievement: if someone else wins, they lose. Sarah hadn't been able to tolerate my success because it threatened her identity as the successful one in our friendship. So Shed ensured I never succeeded. Or when I did, it was only after Shed succeeded first, and bigger. She needed me to fail so she could feel good about herself. But she also needed me to keep trying. Because if I quit entirely, left the industry, Shed lose her point of comparison. So Shed sabotage me, then console me, knock me down, then help me up just enough to knock me down again. It was a sick cycle, and I'd been trapped in it without even knowing. One thing my therapist said stuck with me. Real friends celebrate your wins and mourn your losses. Fake friends mourn your wins and celebrate your losses. They just do it in private. Sarah had celebrated my losses in private. To my bosses, to my clients, to industry contacts. While to my face, she mourned them with me. I thought about all those nights Shed come over with wine after I didn't get a job or a promotion. All those pep talks. Shed loved those moments. Not because she cared about me, but because they confirmed her sabotage was working. That realization made me physically ill. Understanding the psychology helped, though. It depersonalized it slightly. This wasn't about me being unworthy or unlikable. This was about Sarah's brokenness, her inability to feel good about herself without tearing someone else down. I almost felt sorry for her. Almost. Because whatever demons Sarah was fighting, Shed made them my problem. Had sacrificed 8 years of my career, my mental health, my sense of self to feed her ego, and that was unforgivable. 2 years after I discovered the truth about Sarah, my career looked completely different. Associate creative director became creative director. I was leading major campaigns, working with dream clients, building a team of young creatives who reminded me of myself at their age, ambitious, talented, maybe a little insecure. I made sure to mentor them properly, to build them up genuinely, not tear them down covertly. I knew what it felt like to have someone sabotage you. It'd never do that to anyone else. My work won awards, real ones. Industry recognition had been chasing for years. Each award felt like vindication, like proof that I'd always been good enough, that the only thing holding me back had been Sarah. But it also felt bittersweet, because I'd lost 5 years, maybe more. How far ahead would I be if Sarah hadn't sabotaged me from the beginning? My current boss, I'd actually switched agencies a year after the Sarah incident, needed a fresh start, told me something that helped. You can't live in the parallel universe, she said. You can only work with who you are now. And who you are now is someone who's survived something awful and come out stronger. She was right. I had skills now I wouldn't have had otherwise. Resilience, the ability to spot fake people, boundaries. I knew my worth in a way I hadn't before, because I'd had to fight to reclaim it. The Morrison account, the one Sarah had helped me lose, came back around 3 years later. They were doing another rebrand. They reached out to my new agency specifically, asked for me specifically. Apparently my work had impressed them, even though we hadn't won the first pitch, and they'd heard about what happened with Sarah, how Shed interfered. We wanted to give you another shot, their CMO said, without anyone sabotaging you this time. We won the pitch. I presented the strategy ID originally wanted, to present bold, innovative, risky. They loved it. The campaign we created won multiple awards, put my agency on the map, established me as a name in the industry. Everything Sarah had tried to prevent me from becoming, I became anyway, just 5 years later than I should have. But still, I made it, and that felt good. Not just because of the success itself, but because I'd done it despite her. In spite of her, Sarah hadn't won. Shed delayed me, hurt me, damaged me, but she hadn't destroyed me. I was still here, still succeeding, still building, and she was gone. Out of my life, out of the industry, Sometimes I wondered where she was, what she was doing, if she'd learned anything. But mostly, I tried not to think about her at all. She'd taken up enough space in my head for 8 years. I wasn't giving her any more. Looking back with the clarity that distance provides, I can see so many red flags I missed. Signs that Sarah wasn't who I thought she was. Signs that our friendship was toxic. I want to share them. Not to beat myself up, I've done enough of that. But to help someone else who might be in a similar situation. Someone who has a friend like Sarah and doesn't realize it yet. Red flag Hazone. She was only supportive when I was failing. Real friends celebrate your wins and support you through losses. Sarah did the opposite. When something good happened to me, a successful project, a client compliant, even a good day at work, she'd minimize it. That's great, but, or, yeah, though, or, lucky thank you waning. But when something bad happened, she was there immediately. With wine, with comfort, with her full attention. At the thank you end, I thought she was just a really good friend who showed up when it mattered. Now I know she showed up when it mattered to her when I was down, and she could feel superior. Red flag #2. She made my successes about luck, her successes about hard work. When I landed a client, wow, you got lucky. They were looking for someone just like you. When she landed a client, I worked so hard on that pitch. The hours I put into the strategy really paid off. She never said it in an obvious way. But the pattern was there. My wins were accidents. Her wins were earned. It trained me to see myself as lucky rather than skilled, to discount my own abilities. Red flag #3. She knew too much about my professional life. Details I hadn't shared, names I hadn't mentioned, opportunities I'd barely told anyone about. Oh, I heard through the grapevine, she'd say. But the grapevine was suspiciously well-informed, and it was always information she could use against me later. She was monitoring me, keeping tabs, making sure she knew what I was doing so she could interfere if needed. Red flag #4. She shared my insecurities with others, framed as concern. I told her in confidence that I struggled with imposter syndrome, that I had anxiety, that my parents' divorce had been hard on me. She took those vulnerable admissions and weaponized them. She's so talented, but she really doubts herself. She's dealing with some family stuff that's affecting her focus. She has anxiety issues she's working through, all said with concern. All positioned as looking out for me. All designed to make me sound unstable to the people who mattered. Red flag #5. She was always there for my bad moments, conveniently busy for my good ones. Lost a job opportunity? She'd cancel her plans to come over. Won an award? She had a client dinner, so sorry, but congrats. Real friends make thank you for both. They want to celebrate with you, not just console you. Sarah only wanted to be around when I was failing, because that's when she felt best about herself. Red flag #6. Other successful women didn't like her. I noticed, over the years, that women who were established in our industry kept their distance from Sarah. They were polite, but not warm. They didn't invite her to things. They didn't seek her out. I thought they were intimidated by her success, or jealous. Now I know they'd seen through her. They'd recognized what she was, and they'd protected themselves by staying away. I should have paid attention to that. Red flag #7. She positioned herself as my only real friend. No one else really gets what you're going through. But I do. People in this industry are so fake. At least we have each other. I know you don't trust easily. I'm glad you trust me. She isolated me. Made me think she was the only person who truly understood me. The only person I could count on. Classic manipulation. If I believed she was my only real friend, I'd never leave her. And I'd never question her. Red flag #8. She offered to help in ways that gave her access to sensitive information. Let me look at your resume. Want me to reach out to that company for you? I know someone there. Let me put in a good word. Every good word was actually a warning about me. Every help was actually sabotage. But by offering to help, she got information. She knew where I was applying, what I was working on, who I was talking to, information she could use to get ahead of me, to interfere before I even knew there was a problem. Red flag, #9. She turned my vulnerabilities into professional liabilities. I told her I was tired after a long week. She told people I was overwhelmed and burning out. I told her I was nervous about a presentation. She told people I had stage fright. I told her I disagreed with my boss on a strategy. She told people I was difficult to work with. She took normal human experiences, stress, nerves, professional disagreement, and reframed them as character flaws, as reasons not to hire me, promote me, work with me. Red flag #10. She was never genuinely happy for me. This was the big one. The one I should have seen but didn't want to. When something good happened to me, her first reaction just for a split second was never happiness. It was something else. Tightness around her eyes, forced quality to her smile, clenched hands under the table. Then it would disappear, replaced by enthusiasm. But I'd seen it. It just made excuses for it. She's tired. She's stressed. She's having a bad day. But it happened too often. Too consistently. Real friends are genuinely happy when you succeed. They light up. Their joy is automatic, not performed. Sarah's joy was always performed. Because it wasn't real, she resented every good thing that happened to me. And eventually, she decided to make sure good things stopped happening. If you're reading this and recognizing your friend in these red flags, please listen to that instinct. Pay attention. Look for patterns. Does your friend build you up or tear you down? Do they celebrate your wins or just console your losses? Do they make you feel confident or constantly insecure? Do they respect your boundaries or slowly erode them? Real friendship should make you feel stronger, not smaller. It should add to your life, not drain it. It should feel supportive, not exhausting. If it doesn't feel that way, trust yourself. Your instincts are telling you something. Listen to them. I didn't. And it cost me 8 years. Don't make the same mistake I did. 3 years after I discovered the truth, I ran into Sarah. It was at an industry conference. Not our industry, I'd thought I was safe. But apparently, Shed pivoted into a related field, was trying to rebuild her career. I saw her across the room. She saw me. For a moment, we both froze. 3 years of no contact. 3 years of rebuilding my life without her. And suddenly, we were 10 feet apart in a crowded conference hall. She looked different. Older, maybe? Or just tired? Her smile wasn't as bright. Her confidence wasn't as smooth. She'd been fired. Blacklisted, essentially, from our original industry. Word had spread. People knew what Shed done. Shed had to start over. And starting over at 32, with a damaged reputation, is harder than starting over at 22 with a clean slate. I felt a complicated mix of emotions. Satisfaction that Shed faced consequences. Pity for how far Shed fallen. And underneath it all, anger that still burned hot even after 3 years. She walked over to me. I considered walking away. Should have walked away, but I stayed. "Hi," she said. Her voice was uncertain. Not the confident Sarah I'd known. "Hi." Silence. "What do you say to someone who destroyed you? Who you once loved as a best friend? How are you?" she asked. "I'm good," I said. And I was, genuinely. "You?" "I'm managing. Trying to rebuild." I nodded, didn't offer sympathy or encouragement. Just acknowledged. More silence. "I know you probably don't want to hear this," she said finally. "But I'm sorry. For what I did. For all of it." I looked at her, trying to gauge if she meant it. If she understood what she'd done. "Do you even know what you're apologizing for?" I asked. She blinked. For sabotaging you. For the emails. For 8 years of systematically destroying my career while pretending to be my best friend, I said. For taking every insecurity I shared with you and weaponizing it. For making me think I was broken. For stealing years of my life that I'll never get back. She flinched. Yes, for that. Why'd you do it? She looked down. I was jealous. Of you. You were so naturally talented. Things came easily to you that I had to work for, and I couldn't stand it. I couldn't stand the idea that you might be better than me, so you made sure I never got the chance to find out. Yes, at least she was honest. Finally, did you know? I asked. The whole thank you, N? Did you know what you were doing? She hesitated, then nodded. Yes, I knew. That hurt more than I expected. Part of me had wanted to believe she'd been delusional, that she'd convinced herself she was helping me. But no. She'd known, had deliberately, consciously destroyed me. For 8 years, I was sick, she said. I know that doesn't excuse it, but I was. I needed therapy. I needed to work on myself. I didn't realize how sick until it was too late. Until I'd lost everything. You didn't lose everything, I said. You threw it away. There's a difference, she nodded, tears in her eyes now. I know. You had a real friend in me, I continued. Someone who genuinely cared about you, who would have celebrated your success, who would have supported you. You could have had that. Instead, you had a project, someone to manage and control and tear down so you could feel better about yourself. I know, she whispered. Do you? I asked. Do you really understand what you took from me? The years I spent thinking I wasn't good enough? The panic attacks? The therapy bills? The career opportunities I lost? The confidence you destroyed? I'm sorry, she said. I'm so sorry. Sorry doesn't give me back what you took. I know. We stood there. The conference buzzed around us. People networking, laughing, living their lives. And we were 2 former best friends who'd destroyed each other. Me through trust. Her through betrayal. I don't forgive you, I said finally. I don't know if I ever will. What you did was unforgivable. She nodded. I understand, but I hope you get help. Real help. I hope you work on whatever's broken in you that made you think it was okay to do what you did. I hope you never do it to anyone else. I won't, she said. I promise. I didn't believe her. Promises from someone who'd lied for 8 years meant nothing, but I nodded anyway. Goodbye, Sarah. Goodbye. I walked away. Didn't look back. My hands were shaking. My heart was racing. But I'd said what I needed to say. I didn't forgive her. I probably never would. But I'd gotten closure. The real kind. The kind where you look someone in the eye and tell them exactly what they did and how it affected you. I'd taken back my narrative. My power. Sarah didn't get to define my story anymore. I did. So that's my story. The story of how my best friend sabotaged my career for 8 years. How I finally caught her. How I rebuilt my life after. People ask me if I've forgiven her. The answer is still no. Not because I'm holding on to anger, though I was angry for a long time, but because forgiveness feels like letting her off the hook for something unforgivable. What Sarah did wasn't a mistake. It wasn't a moment of poor judgment or a misunderstanding. It was calculated, systematic. Years of deliberate betrayal. She made a choice, again and again, to hurt me, to sabotage me, to take my trust and use it as a weapon against me. That's not something I can forgive. Maybe someday, but not now, probably not ever. Do I think about her? Sometimes. I wonder if she really changed. If she got the help she said she needed. If she's doing to someone else what she did to me. But mostly, I've moved on. My career is thriving. Better than thriving. I'm doing work I'm proud of. Leading a team I love. Making a name for myself on my own terms. I've built real friendships. With people who celebrate my wins. who are genuinely happy when good things happen to me, who don't need me to fail so they can feel successful. I've learned to trust again. Not blindly, I'll never be that trusting again, but healthily, with boundaries, with awareness. I pay attention to red flags now. I trust my instincts. I don't make excuses for people's behavior or rationalize things that feel wrong. And I've learned something important. Real friends want you to succeed. They celebrate your wins without diminishing them. They're there for your failures and your successes. They don't need you to stay small so they can feel big. If you're in a friendship where you're always struggling, always failing, always the one who needs support, look closely. Because sometimes the person offering support is the same person creating the need for it. Sometimes your biggest enemy is disguised as your best friend. Trust your instincts. If something feels off, it probably is. And if you've been betrayed by a friend the way I was, I see you. I know how much it hurts. I know how it makes you question everything about yourself, your judgment, your worth. But you're not broken. They are. You deserve friends who root for you, who celebrate you, who genuinely want you to succeed. And you will find them. I promise. It takes time. It takes healing. It takes learning to trust again. One small step at a time. But you'll get there. I did. Be kind to yourself. Set your boundaries. Choose you. You deserve it. And remember, the best revenge isn't revenge at all. It's building a life so good, so full, so successful that they become irrelevant to your story. Sarah tried to write my story, tried to make me the tragic character who never quite made it. But I'm writing my own story now. And in this version, I'm the hero who survived, who rebuilt, who won, not despite her, not because of her, just without her. And that's exactly how it should be.